Okay, I think we've come to the your final statements, and I think what do you say? 3 minutes? About 3 minutes each? 3 or 4 if you have something that you really want to get back to your original sheet there to leave us with. So we start out with Susan.
As I said, I'm not a politician. I'm an advocate. I go out and I work for people, and I work for people across the county. I work for people across the state. As a legislator, I would do the same thing that I do as an advocate. I would work with people, and I work across all party lines. I've worked with senators in both the Democratic and the Republican side. I've worked in the House with the Republicans and Democrats. I enjoy a great relationship with people because you have to have everyone at the table in order to really make progress. The partisanship does not serve anyone well. What we need is someone who will fight for what's right for our community. And our community is truly the whole of Pennsylvania, not just the 158. We need someone who will look for long-term solutions. This pension crisis was brought about because of a short-term solution to get an increase to certain pensions and to just ignore the debt that was coming along. They knew what was going to happen in 2013. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be a huge debt that we have to bear, and we cannot pass that on to taxpayers. We have to find the solution within the legislature and find out where we can make things right. When I make decisions, when I work as an advocate, I try and gather up verifiable, independent information so that we can come to a good conclusion that serves everyone as best as we can. And that's the same sort of thing that I would do as a legislator. I bring people together, we sit at a table, we try and work it out. I think that's how government needs to work and what we need to be able to do. I know that people's pockets have bottoms. You know, we can't just keep turning to taxpayers every time there's a crisis. And there's going to be a crisis. We're going to end up with an environmental crisis from this drilling if we don't take it seriously. And we have to make our gas companies liable for the damage that will be left when they finish what they've done. We need to let people know that they are not going to have to pay for the mistakes our gas companies make out when it comes to drilling. We need to end the no-bid contracts, the sweetheart deals, the corruption and fraud that eat into our budget in Pennsylvania so that we can do a better job and run a leaner, tighter government. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you all for coming today and listening to us, and I hope we didn't put too many of you to sleep. And again, thank the League and Kendall for making it possible. You know, we've had a lot of negative publicity in the legislature recently, and unfortunately, the few bad actors wind up getting the headlines. But I can tell you that there are a lot of good, serious people up there that are working hard. And just to give you a simple example, I've been working on getting a better system for collection and diversion of electronic waste like computers and televisions away from the landfill and back into the responsible recycling change. And I've been working on that bill at various different levels of government and also with all the affected parties over about a 7-year period. We've gotten it through the House, we've gotten it through committee in the Senate, and it's about ready to go week after next to the Senate as a whole. I don't expect it will be headline news in the Philadelphia Inquirer when we get that passed, but you should know that the reason it's not going to be particularly controversial is because we've worked with all the affected parties, the manufacturers who are going to bear the responsibility for setting the system up, the recyclers who are going to have to implement it, the retailers who are going to be a part of this process as well as the landfills and all the other affected parties, including the environmental groups and the Department of Environmental Protection. It's quiet, relentless work where you include all parties and develop the correct consensus that creates settled law. Settled law is in turn what the public at large can rely on, what business can be sure of so that they can make reliable investments. We need that kind of work in Harrisburg. It takes time, it takes skill, it takes experience to do that. And I am very excited about next session. As chairman of the Urban Affairs Committee, we're looking at some very interesting work. Again, it's not headline grabbing, that's designed to deal with blight remediation. The flip side of making sure that we don't tear up our open spaces is to make sure we have good livable cities, where we have existing built structures, not just in Philadelphia, but in Westchester, Coatesville, Kennett Square, West Grove, where we have good places for people to live, where you can establish good communities, where it's easy to get around without a car. That's what I think we need to be working on. We clearly have to tackle these tough problems with the budget, with the pensions, with some of the other concerns about restoring confidence in government. But I think it can be done, and I'm looking forward to it. And I thank you for your support up until now, and I look forward to working for you again in the future. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for coming. I think we are heard an impressive presentations from both candidates, and our country depends on people being willing to do what you two are doing, which is to run for political office, to represent us as well as you can. And I thank you both for doing that, and thank you all for coming, and vote on November 2nd. Thank you.